Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another episode of Let's Play. Today we are going to check out Trickster VR. Now Trickster is a dungeon crawling VR game where a player can take up arms using various weapons such as swords, shields, bows, crossbows, and daggers to name a few. Like most of other dungeon crawlers, the point of the game is to make it from one point of the dungeon to the end while enduring various battles between upcoming and oncoming waves. In many cases, the player can actually sneak up and perform ambushes of their own to unsuspecting players. The movement is carried out by either using the teleport system, like in most VR games, or using the thumbsticks to move accordingly left, right, forward, back, and turn. While going through the map and defeating your enemies is the primary objective, there are quests which may ask you to perform certain tasks along the way, such as holding down a point from incoming hordes or ambushing from above, sometimes performing certain kill completions and collecting items. The game has a campaign-style level select where different acts take you through different dungeon experiences. The player can select each map upon completion of the prior one and entering a portal which is summoned in the lobby room. Players here can arm themselves with their favorite weapons. In the lobby, the player can also experiment and practice with all the weapons as a dummy moves around to take the blows. In the game, there are also siege weapons such as the ballistic turret which with the right gestures, one can hold and aim the stock with one hand and pull and tighten the spin wheel with the other. Now the weapons in the game are very intuitive. For example, a typical sword and shield user will use the hack and slash method to vanquish its enemies, but in sticky situations it helps to pull that shield up and hold a defensive stance, as playing more like a Spartan can win some battles rather than swinging like Conan the Barbarian. The bow is a great weapon, as you can imagine, has the range power. However, when enemies get close to the player, it can be really hard and the player can really take a beating. This is great as it really gives the player the opportunity to switch weapons on the fly, such as pulling out daggers or unsheathing the sword in those sticky situations. The bow's mechanics are great, as they are epic moments when you actually feel the rush of a Legolas-style character taking on multitudes of orcs rushing and charging you from all angles. The ambush possibilities are numerous, so watch your back. The daggers are an excellent weapon to break out of a situation when additional DPS is needed, as they can be thrown towards its adversaries. However, the aim does take quite a bit of skill, as the majority of the time I found myself shooting them into the sky, rather than taking my time to flick the wrist properly and engaging. Later in the game, you will unlock weapons such as the dual crossbow gun, giving the player the feel of a Van Helsing style game player. These have limited ammo stock before requiring reload. The damage is not as great as the bow, however they are better at taking on multiple opponents within a short amount of time. Watch out for that reload, however, as it can take a while to set your gun ready for the next battle.
Now the easy part. Tap the rune and wait for the portal to charge up.
The AA in the game isn't too bad. The enemies will try their best to fight you on their flanks and ambush you, while other times they will try to go straight towards you in brute force in an attempt to overwhelm you. The various styles of enemies are also a nice touch. There are archer orcs which, if not taken out quickly, can pick you off from a distance. There are various melee type of orcs, ranging from ones which enrage and take larger amounts of damage to bring down, to tanking sword and board orcs, requiring specific locational hits. And an assassin-style orc which can throw smoke bombs in your face to throw you off and confuse you in the midst of battle. There are also magic orcs, which can shield and support the wave of orcs. Those should be taken out as a priority, as they can make it easy for an easy foe to become a more difficult one. Alright guys, let's break down our thoughts on the game. The VR experience is satisfactory. I enjoyed the immersive feel the game would give me, such as playing as some of my favorite arrow shooting and sword swinging heroes. However, I felt that the movement shroud around the eyes was a bit too much. It made me feel like I was being sucked into a dream rather than moving from one position to the other. It could take away from the awesome experience happening already outside of the shroud. The attacks made from the enemies and the sense of feeling like something is about to get me from behind really brings that great VR sense of suspense and nervousness to the game. The VR experience, I'd say, I'd have to give it a 4 out of 5. The gameplay is where the game really shines. The side quests, explorations, random dynamic events which occur as you go from one dungeon to the other makes and helps it from making the same mistake other dungeon crawlers make into feeling it sometimes becoming too linear. Trickster tries to mix it up in order to avoid this. The various types of enemies also contributes to the variable styles of gameplay. The weapons work as they should, smooth to the touch. However, I only wish that different swing strengths perform differently as opposed to the power hits. A light swing still does the same amount of damage as a heavy swing. For this gameplay, I am pleased to say it deserves a 4 out of 5. Now, as for the replay value of the game, I would say perhaps is the game's downfall, where like most dungeon crawlers, once the map has been cleared, there is really nothing more to do than to repeat it again. While there is sizable and handful of maps, an update or an implementation of a new maps on a monthly basis would be a nice touch to the campaign. I would strongly suggest it. The game's multiplayer really helps with the replay value, as sometimes there is nothing better than to hop on with some friends and start swinging, shooting, slicing, and taking down some orcs with your buddies. The res system also gives the players both hope and excitement, as no one wants to see their best ally go down, leaving them alone to fend off versus the remaining orcs. For this category, the replay value, I would say I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Taking all into consideration, I can't help but say that I was very pleased with Trickster, as it gave me what my money was seeking, an experience and a great time. I personally picked up the game on sale during the summer sale for $9. For that price, you can't beat any kind of entertainment. Trickster exceeded my expectations despite both knickknacks. Therefore, with all the smoke, and when all the smoke clears out, I'm glad to give this final verdict a 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Comment below and tell me what you think and what you liked and did not like about the game yourself. Also, please let me know if there's a game you would like me to review before you decide on taking that plunge. It was great playing with you all, and until next time, keep those orcs at bay.